Direct sales is a personal development program with a check attached. Jack Canfield said this in my interview with him, and I'm in 100% agreement. And I'm excited to announce the Badass Direct Sales Mastery Virtual Summit with the exclusive Jack Canfield interview replay is happening on March 24th, 25th, and 26th of 2022. We will not only have Jack Canfield, but 23 additional speakers and experts who are going to share their expertise, knowledge, and secrets to direct sales success. Jack is sharing his success principles as they apply to direct sales and network marketing. We also have a TikTok expert, a business video expert, diversity and recruiting, mindset coaches, public speaking experts, direct sales experts, and so many more. And the best part of this summit, it's happening online and it's complimentary. You get access to 3 days of speakers and topics that are going to help you build your business, grow your sales, grow your team in 2022. And all of it is at no charge to you. Go reserve your digital seat at summit.badassdirectsalesmastery.com. Again, reserve your seat at summit.badassdirectsalesmastery.com.
Welcome to the Badass Direct Sales Mastery Podcast with your direct sales dom, Jenny Bellinger. Badass Direct Sales Mastery is a podcast for rock star direct sales moms who are determined to make their business kick ass. Jenny will share her knowledge of effective sales and recruiting techniques, tips to get what you want from your business, and will interview direct sales professionals and leaders from various companies. The interviews will give insight to how these rock stars got to where they are and where they plan to grow in the future. And now, the direct sales dom, Jenny Bellinger.
Welcome back to another episode of Badass Direct Sales Mastery. I'm your host, Jenny Bellinger, your direct sales dom, helping you whip your business into shape. Today, I have with me Griselda Beck, and she is a powerhouse speaker and coach that combines her executive expertise with transformational leadership, mindset, life coaching, and heart-centered divine feminine energy principles. Now, guys, when I hear that, I know for me that always leads to that one chakra, right? If you guys know about chakras, you know what I'm talking about. If you don't know chakras, you will probably find out during our conversation. But what she does is she helps empower women across the globe to step into their power, step into their authenticity, their hearts and sensuality, so that they can create incredible success in their business and freedom in their lives. So you guys know I had to have Griselda on. So welcome to the show.
Hi, thank you. I'm glad to be here. Thank you for having me.
Oh, absolutely. I'm so excited to dig into your journey, your life, how you got to be this powerhouse coach and speaker and what you're doing and be able to share some of what you do in order to help women. So let's start with your journey. How did you become a coach?
Sure. So I got burnt out in corporate. I used to run a multi-million-dollar public company, and I hit burnout. I hit burnout because I wasn't taking care of myself. I didn't figure that out until 7 years after. At the time, I was blaming all kinds of things, right, in my life that weren't going right. And when I made the decision to quit, I started a consulting company. That was my bridge. I always tell my clients to create a bridge. And that was it until we found what my passion was. So now all of a sudden I had all this time and I could volunteer, which was something I really wanted to do that I didn't have time for when I was working 90-hour weeks. And I shopped around a lot of the shelters and, offered my services, and only one answered me back.
Wow.
And today I know that only one answered because that's how universe and God works. Like, if I had too many options, I might have gone down the wrong path. Right? I need one clear door.
Yes.
And it was. And that is what led me to where I am today, because they said, yes, we want everything you've got, and can you teach a self-esteem class? And I said, sure. And then I come back to my therapist and I said, I don't know the first thing about self-esteem. How do I start? She's like, what do you think you've been working on all this time? I said, what? So anyway, long story short, it's been 5 years. I still teach there, a personal development workshop every 2 weeks. And as I started to tell people what I was doing, they're like, you're really great at marketing. You're awesome for business strategy. You are my go-to. And you light up in a different way when you talk about this work. So when I heard that for about the 8th or 9th time, I was like, okay, maybe I can monetize this, right?
Yeah.
So I set up my first workshop, did that, and have gone into deep, deep training on mindset and leadership and done mastery level leadership work to become a facilitator and a trainer. And that is what I do now. So now I'm an author, a speaker, and a badass coach.
Nice. So as you've been going through this whole process, I mean, you mentioned that what got you into this was you were burnt out, which I know is probably the case, or at least many of the women who are listening to this show right now are pushing the edge of burnout right now, because we're recording this, almost 2 years into COVID. So people have been working their job, working from home, homeschooling kids, doing their side gig here, this direct sales business or network marketing business on the side, trying to build it and grow it because they know there's got to be a better way. What were some of the things that helped you begin your self-care journey to really shift into a place where you were taking care of yourself?
Let's not start at the beginning, and let's start with after all the trial and errors.
Right.
Let me fast forward, you guys, to what really worked.
Yeah.
And that was pausing for a moment long enough to really ask myself, what do I want? Because even going into a consulting company or rolling into doing workshops was just the next thing, right? And so when we're doing what we think we should be doing, when we're just living life for what's in front of us in this moment, it's more like an autopilot, right? And so that our soul is not lit up and is not on fire. Right now, I can tell you every day I wake up and I know it sounds hocus pocus because I used to think that of people. I literally can tell you honestly and look you in the eyes as I'm doing right now and say, I am lit up and I can't believe this is my life. I'm in Miami today. I live in San Diego. I'm here to look for a second home. That's going to happen. I get to manifest that. I have friends here. So really stopping to ask, what do you want? If you had no one else but yourself to think about, what would your life look like right now? And start from there. Take away all I have kids. Take all that away. If you had no one else but yourself to think about, what would your life look like right now? Then once you get that, because that's what your heart really wants. Once you give yourself permission to at least see it and voice it, then you can start working around, how can I create this even though these are my circumstances, whatever they may be. And when you start living in that truth, you become more aligned to who you truly are, and life just gets sweeter. Sometimes it might mean working less hours. Sometimes for some people, it's not working less hours, but doing something that they really love in a way that lights them up, right? You can I'm a marketing strategist by education and trade. You can promote and lead gen in 1,000 different ways, right? Social media is a tool. Video is a tool. Summits are a tool, right? Networking is a tool. We could go through 1,000 different tools. Find the one that lights you up. It keeps you. Some people are introverted. Some people are extroverted. When introverts try to keep up with extroverts, it doesn't work.
Oh,
right? When extroverts try to stay here and just be doing social media, they get burnt out. So it's really about finding what lights your soul, that sacral chakra on fire, and living your life from that place. So that's what ultimately supports. And then you may not know the how. So a lot of people don't give themselves permission to go down a route because they don't know the how. Let that go. Find a coach, find a community, find an accountability partner, get someone else to help you look at What are the possibilities? Because there's always another possibility. 100% is possible 100% of the time.
Oh my gosh. Yes. Seriously. And I can 100% speak to that last part that you just brought up, because one would think Jenny's a coach, right? She doesn't need to bring somebody else in. Oh, yes, I do. Yes, I do. At any given time, I've got 3 or 4 coaches working with me in different areas of life and business, right? So, and the benefit that working with them brings to me is I'm head down in my business, head down being a mom, head down in making sure my relationship is coming along the way it should be 4 or 5 years into it now. All of those things, right? But when you have someone else who's on the outside looking in and really listening to the words that are coming out of your mouth, they are paying attention to those kinds of things and going, did you hear what you just said? Right?
Yeah.
It really helps you make those shifts and changes, because you can't coach yourself. You just can't. And having that outside perspective is so beneficial. Absolutely. So as you're working with your clients in these different areas, so obviously you have found that, you mentioned that you are a marketing strategist by education and by trade, right? But you're also working with people, women especially, in their empowerment. How is it that do you find that there are times when you're working with people in both that you're helping them go through that empowerment piece to work on their marketing, or?
Not there are times, 100% of the time.
Oh, okay, good.
Yeah.
Good.
So people usually don't come to me because they need to feel their power. Most people don't walk around thinking I feel powerless. Right? They thinking I just need to do better in this area and I need some help. And they know that about my background. And so they come to me for the strategy. Okay. I'm a great strategist. And 80% of the work, 20% of strategy, 80% of the work is all mindset.
Yeah.
It's what's underneath. And so for the women that sign up with me to work on the 1-year mentorship, we go into all those places. How's the sex?
Yeah.
And it'll be something that they say in their business, like, oh, I'm just getting a bunch of no's and I just don't think this is happening. And I'm like, where else are you getting no's? Where else are you not allowing yourself to ask for what you want? Because if the problem isn't the no's, the problem is making the ask.
Yeah.
Right? And focusing out and being unattached to the outcome. And so that'll tie in. And I'm like, nope, that's not it. That's not it. There it is. Okay. Doing something just to please your husband or to keep your husband or wife, whatever it may be, that doesn't work.
Yeah.
It doesn't work. It leads to resentment. It leads to stale energy. And who wants stale energy?
Ugh. Yeah. No.
It reminds me of that Chris Rock, Bigger and Blacker, comedy, his stand-up comedy, where he was like, yeah, it's just enough. I know you guys can't see what I'm doing, but he hand gestured, he's holding the mic and he's like simulating licking it. And it's like a wife, just giving just enough head to get the husband to be like, fine. And like, nobody wants that kind of a blowjob.
No.
Guess what? Your clients don't want a sloppy blowjob either. They want you to light them up on fire to where they are excited about this product and they want to come on board, and they're not just excited to use the product. They want to go out and be a champion for you and sell the product and be a part of your team, because your leadership is so strong. They know that they're going to be successful here. That's what they want.
Bam.
They want to feel creamy on the inside. They're ishy gushies, juicy. Yeah.
I love the way you say that. And what you just described energetically, now I just had this light bulb moment myself. That's how I got so successful in my direct sales business, was I was doing exactly that. I just didn't know I was doing that, right? Because it was that process of, I was so excited about what this industry was doing for me, that people wanted that energy.
Yeah.
They wanted that. They didn't care about the product necessarily, because I was in the world of jewelry. Not everybody loves bling, right? Lots of people like the outcome of it, but it's not that I personally did not have a huge passion for jewelry. I had the passion for how I felt when I wore it. I had a passion for what the business was doing for me. And I was like, guys, come along on this journey with me. I'm making really good money. I've replaced my teacher's income. You guys can do this too. And now it's like, oh, duh, energetically, that's where a lot of that was coming from. I was excited about it and I was putting it out there and going, come with me or don't, but I'm doing it with or without you. So you may as well just join me.
Yeah. And I know that you've come across this, right? Especially in direct sales, it happens a lot. They think the product doesn't work. So they'll jump around from Melaleuca to doTERRA to this to that. And it's like, nothing's really working. It's not the product, you guys. You look at any MLM company. I used to work for a manufacturer that made the products.
Okay.
The products are great, yes, but what sells their product is the story. Yeah. They sell on emotion. They sell on the transformation. They sell on how someone is going to feel. And if you're not feeling it, I guarantee you're not making anyone else feel it either.
Exactly. And so in that, the takeaway from that for me, and what I think is going to be really important for the listener to really go back and examine is what got you into your business? What got you passionate about the thing, right? The product, whatever, like find that passion, find that outcome, find that whatever it is again, and keep going back to that well, because that outcome for me, that confidence, because when I started with my jewelry company, I was a stay-at-home mom who rarely did anything more than wear, tank tops, yoga pants, sweatshirts, hoodies. I had my hair up in the messy bun. The only jewelry I wore was my watch and wedding ring. And that was really about it. And so the transformation that happened for me when I started the business. And so now is a walking billboard for my product. So having that opportunity to put on, other people think of it as, oh, I have to wear the jewelry today or else I'm blah, blah, blah. Well, okay, you're putting that energy out into the world.
Energy. Yes. It's all energy. Think about when you go to the conventions, right? People are lit up.
Yes.
The music, the power, the way that they move the energy through the stadiums, it's energy. And they sell a ton. They get people to like break ceilings that they've been at for a long time after they leave one of those things. That's why they do them. You can create your own mini, energetic event, or you can embody that energy every time you're going to have a call. Tony Robbins talks about getting into state. Mm-hmm. You can YouTube it. It's a 15-minute thing. He goes through like 3 different modalities and they just repeat for 15 minutes. There's an embodiment piece, a visualization piece, and a declaration piece to that loop. And it's about getting energetically into state, right? Yeah. Anytime I'm going to speak, I have a playlist that plays, right?
Me too.
Anytime I'm going to speak. Yeah. There you go. That lights me up, that I'm like, yes, I own it. Yeah. It's not just about performance. It's about how you show up for yourself. Then people feed off of that. If you're just trying to act pretty, like you just said, like I got to wear the jewelry today, people see right through that and they don't want it.
Yep.
Nobody wants limpness, right? Yeah. Nobody wants stale energy. It doesn't work. It's not exciting.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And that's something that I think this comes back to mindset, energy, that preparing yourself. This is literally part of the sales process, because one of the things I've gone through is learning the 8-step sales process. And one of the parts of that is the preparation. What's your mindset? What's your energy level going into whatever it is you're going into, right? Because the thing about direct sales, network marketing, MLM is that anytime you are out in the world, whether it's out physically in the world or energetically out in the world on social media, what are you putting out there? What is the mindset going into creating a particular post? What is the mindset going into a live video? What is the all of those things come together. So, having that, what I call my power playlist, I've got my power playlist on my Amazon Music, it's something that when I know I'm going to be going into a coaching space, when I know I'm going into a teaching space, I listen to that, and I have a huge playlist, and I've got it on shuffle because I'm a big believer the universe will play for me exactly what I need to get me in the right state of mind for what I'm about to go into. Like, I don't have this pre-selected, it's only going to be these 3 songs or whatever. No. Universe, help me out here, So for you, Griselda, as you've been going through now your own process and building this business and going through all of this, how has your own journey grown and melded who you are?
I just spoke about this yesterday in my VIP group. I used to be so fragmented, and it was very exhausting. I didn't put 2 and 2 together, but I was exhausted. And I was one way at church, and one way with family, and one way in corporate, right at work, one way with certain friends. And then I was really only like letting my hair down and just being with this really small group of friends, like 5, and who could know anything and everything about me. And I knew I could just be. And the difference is today I can walk into 8 different rooms and be the exact same person. So it was an integration of all those parts of me. They're all true.
Right.
And being able to be all of myself, no matter where I'm at. So the environment, the circumstances, the pandemic, nothing can rock me because I know who I am and I stand in that power. And that is what I support my clients to do as well.
Oh, I love that. I love that. That reminds me, one of my mentors and coaches his name is Scott Conway, and he talks about facet truths. Right. Mm-hmm. We are this wonderful, beautiful gem, whatever we happen to be. I'm, of course, like an amethyst. So
oh, before you said that, I was thinking she's
yeah. So I'm an amethyst, but we have these facet truths, right? There's different sides to us, but we are this complete being, right? This complete thing, but there are different truths that are appropriate to different settings, but it's all still true about you. So it's not that you're coming into this, because the way you walk into a conversation with your children is not necessarily the same way you would come into a conversation with your significant other, because there's different things that are appropriate to those relationships and settings, right? So that those facet truths are just that integration that you talked about. So many people feel like exactly they're boxing themselves into these little things. Instead, if you can be this whole person that just says, okay, when I'm at church, this is the truth of who I am that I'm bringing to this relationship, right? Bringing to this realm. I love that. Love that. Love that.
Yeah. So the difference is you're meeting your audience where they're at, versus you having to hide pieces of you.
Yes.
If that resonates, right? That's the difference, is because when you hide pieces of you or you're constantly carrying a filter, it's exhausting to have to keep up that filter like 24 hours. And that's when the what if my worlds collide happens, right? Like I would never be caught in certain places before, because what if somebody from over here sees me, and then that won't match what I've been showing over here. Well, now it doesn't matter.
Right.
If they're in that space and they happen to see me, it's like, hey, me too.
No, I definitely feel you on that, because, coming out with this podcast, with this theme, right? That really was kind of a lot of my own coming out and telling the world, like, hey, I am a part of this world. I am not appropriating this lifestyle as a catchy, like, it's not a sales tactic. It's not a whatever. I'm part of this world, and I'm part of who I am, and I'm going to share this out with the world and take it or leave it. Okay. And so that putting that out there was terrifying and freeing at the same time, right? Because there was that, because of course I'm a high I, and so I want people to love me. Like that's a big piece. But at the same point, it was like, you know what? People will love me. The people who actually can accept this part and actually not only just accept it, but celebrate it because they're like,
Love
hey,
it. Yeah, celebrate it.
hashtag me
Love
too, right?
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
that fits in so many different ways, right? So I can certainly understand people going, you know, because in the world of network marketing, right? How many people try and hide the fact that the company that they're selling products for is network marketing? Many people, oh gosh, the mindset.
I hate that. I can smell it.
Right. And so they try and hide it. They go, oh, well, no, this isn't that. But yes, it is. As soon as you mention the name of the company, we all freaking know it. Like, so what's the mindset around really getting into that accepting, loving this business model to be able to then share it out?
They're afraid of rejection, right? That they will be rejected before they even get a chance to be known. So that's where authenticity, being who you are, building a relationship and not just selling a product makes a difference.
Yeah.
Right? People buy based on their relationships. People buy based on how they feel.
Yeah.
Not just because you have the best product. There's some products that are not so great and they become bestsellers because people are jazzed up about it.
Yep.
Right?
Oh my gosh.
I bought stuff that I was like, why did I buy this? But I was just like, I want to support my friend.
Yeah.
Right? I love her.
Yeah. Exactly. And that whole energetic piece of going into it, that mindset, again, we just keep coming back to it, the mindset and energy around all of this. When you go out into the world and instead of hiding the fact that it's network marketing or direct sales or MLM, whichever business model your company has, when you go out there, not only not hiding it, but celebrating the fact that that's what it is, it changes people. It will begin to put cracks in people's perceptions of it, right? We get to be the ones who go out and say, hey, this is an amazing opportunity, an amazing business model that has helped millions of people.
Yeah.
Right?
Here's the thing, like, two things. One, if you are hiding it, right, that's a scarcity mindset. It's the afraid of rejection is scarcity.
Yep.
And so you will attract, even if you get a buyer, you're going to attract a scarce buyer. They're either not going to sell well or they're going to continue to have the same hiding, and it's going to be a really hard business to build. And it's going to feel very frustrating, especially to lead a team like that who's not on fire. Two, if you are energetically the walking billboard of your company because of what it's created for you, because of what it's doing for you, you're not pushing your agenda on anyone. People will naturally be like, what's different about this person? I'm curious to know what has you so lit up. You won't have to sell. Believe in your product, believe in your experience, create your experience such that it is so magnetic that people can't help but want a piece of that. And they will lean in and ask. And if they're not a yes immediately, either they're going to tell somebody or later on they'll be back because the impact of your presence was so great. And that's where being unattached to the yes in the moment is helpful. You be who you are.
Yeah. This be who you are. And this business is not a sprint.
No, it is not.
and I say this business, no business is a sprint. It's all a marathon. I don't care whether you're a coach, whether you're selling shoes at a store. Like, you don't go, okay, I'm going to sell shoes. I'm going to open a shoe store for 90 days. No.
Yeah. Well, I like that you said that, because a lot of people, MLM or even just online entrepreneur, right?
Right.
They hear a story that somebody made 100K in 6 months and they're like, I want that. And so they get into it for that reason. Yes. And that doesn't work, because the majority of people, like 95, 98% of people don't make the 6 figures in 6 months. It's just not how it works.
Right.
Can they? Yes, it is possible. 100% is possible 100% of the time. The people who get energetically, they're truly lit up, that's who breaks those figures in record times.
Oh, yeah.
And you hear about them all the time at these conventions, right?
Yeah.
Like so and so just built an entire team and it was crazy.
Yeah, exactly.
Because they were lit up.
Yeah, exactly. And what's interesting to me too is to watch what happens with those people who built that quickly, to see if they maintain, to see if, where does their business go, right? Because I've seen people who continue to build, continue to do well because they were lit up and they were in the right company that was aligned with their values, that was aligned with the way that they like to do business. Yeah. And so it was a perfect fit. And so, yes, that was part of why and how they were able to build and grow so quickly and do that. Other times I've seen people go into a company, do that build and grow thing, and they speak at conference or convention, and then 6 months later, a year later, poof,
they lost their mind.
They're gone. They're totally gone. It's a different
set of skills to grow. And it's a different set of skills again to scale.
Yep.
But all of it, you have to energetically, whether you're energetically managing the buyer, your first few downlines, or you are showing up to manage your business as a business, no longer a hobby, right? In a way that is lit up, or even when you're scaling, your lead gen and the way that you are empowering your leaders to lead. Yes. At all levels, it really does take knowing what you want and knowing who you are and being that.
Yeah,
that is the key to freedom.
The key to freedom. All right. Well, now we have the title for today's episode, The Key to Freedom. Right? Because that's the big selling point that gets a lot of people into direct sales and network marketing is they want the time freedom, the money freedom, the financial freedom, and or both, right?
Yes,
they're looking to
why?
create that. Right.
You got to go deeper. But why? Because I want to retire my spouse, because I want to take 2 vacations a year with my family. You got to get clear on why that's important. If you're just stopping at the result, it can lead to a lot of self-beat up.
Yes.
Yeah.
Big time. Well, Griselda, this has been an amazing conversation. I am guaranteed 100% having you back because we can dig so much deeper into so many of these other areas. Because in our pre-interview, we talked about some other great areas that I'm like, I want to dig into that. So yeah, we're definitely going to have you back for sure. But for now, our listener, if, they go, what she has to say has totally lit me up. I want to know more. How can they get a hold of you, Griselda?
Yeah, follow me on Instagram at Latina Boss Coach all together. I'm always putting out more content on lighting up the fire inside of you. And you can also, the link in my bio, you can always see what's new and fresh there.
Yeah, absolutely. And you also have a fun little giveaway freebie gift for my audience. Tell us about that one.
Yeah, I have. It's going on right now. So by the time that this airs, we'll be at the tail end of it, but it's the Unleash Yourself event. And I'm already seeing that we get to extend it. So if you sign up for it, there'll be opportunities there to join us on the retreat. We have a beautiful online community of women, with women from Australia, Canada, the UK, Scotland, Ecuador, and all over the US, of course. That is just, the shares in there are so powerful. So it's a sisterhood that's rising together.
Nice. So my badass crew knows that I have put the link for them to get their Unleash Yourself ticket in the show notes. So if this is the first time you're listening to the show, make sure you grab your phone, click on the episode, and scroll up just a little bit. And that's where the show notes are. And you'll be able to grab that link in order to go grab your free Unleash Yourself ticket to her event, which is now apparently potentially being extended, expanded, whatever it may be. At least go join that community if you are ready and willing to unleash yourself into the world. I know it sounds fascinating to me, so I might have to go check that out myself. So Griselda, thank you so much for being here and talking with me and my audience. I am so happy to have you here.
Me too. It was an absolute pleasure. And thank you for having a platform where there's no filters. I love that.
I know there's going to be people who are going to be like, yes, Griselda is part of our tribe because she went there. I love it. Love it. Love it. Love it. Multiple times. We went there multiple times. So I'm so glad to have you here. I can't wait to have you back. And now, Badass Crew, you guys know how this goes. Stay tuned because there is another badass episode on its way.
Thanks for listening to the Badass Direct Sales Mastery Podcast with your direct sales dom, Jenny Bellinger. Why are you waiting to go to badassdirectsalesmastery.com? Don't make the dom get her whip. If you enjoyed this episode, make sure to share it with another rock star that you know in direct sales after you subscribe to the podcast so you won't miss any future episodes. You can also check out the show notes for links and any contact information mentioned in today's episode. We'll see you next time.